Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Everybody, a little louder. Hare Rama, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. I welcome all of you to His Holiness Chandramauli Swami daily class. And today Maharaj will continue on Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, verse 50. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Aribo, we're back.
Jai. So,
Hopefully,
with your permission, Maharaj, we'll share the screen.
okay.
Over to you, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Soyam te bihitas tata Bhagavan Vishva Bhavanaha Samasena Harir Nanyat Anyasmat Sad Asach Chayat. So this is Lord Brahma speaking to Narada. My dear son, I have now explained in brief the personality of Godhead, who is the creator of the material worlds. Without him, Hari, the Lord, there are no other causes of the phenomenal and noumenal existence. Purport. Since we generally have the experience of the temporary material world and the conditioned souls trying to lord it over the material world, Brahmaji explains to Narada Dev that this temporary world is the work of the external potency of the Lord, that the conditioned souls struggling here for existence are the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. There is no cause for all these phenomenal activities but Him, Hari, the Supreme Lord, who is the primeval cause of all causes. This does not mean, however, that the Lord Himself is distributed impersonally. He is aloof from all these interactions of the external and marginal potencies. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.4, it is confirmed that by his potencies alone, he is present everywhere and anywhere. Everything that is manifested rests on his potency only, but he, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always aloof from everything. The potency and the potent are simultaneously one and different from one another. One should not deprecate the Supreme Lord for the creation of this material world, just as one should not blame the king for creating a prison house in the government. The prison house is a necessary institution of the governmental establishment for those who are disobedient to the laws of the government. Similarly, this material world, full of miseries, is a temporary creation of the Lord for those who have forgotten Him and are trying to lord it over the false manifestation. However, He, is always anxious to get the fallen souls back home, back to Godhead. And for this, He has given so many chances to the conditioned souls by way of the authoritative scriptures, as representatives, and personal incarnations also. Since He has no direct attachment to this material world, He is not to be blamed for this creation. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gana Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Nama Om Padantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudamani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pe Bacha Titanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So when the child who is within the family does something wrong or is acting wrongly, it's the duty for the benefit of the child for the parent to correct the child. And if the child refuses to be corrected, there is some punishment as a means for correction in order for the child to learn that whatever he's doing, saying, behaving, is actually against his own best interest and for the interest of others. So in the same way, the Lord creates this material world for the misbehaved living entities who refuse to accept their relationship, which is eternal, with Him in loving devotional service. The desire to be independent of the Lord is the cause of fall down from the spiritual world. The desire to be the source of one's own enjoyment is also part of that same fall down. The living entity wants to be the controller. The living entity wants to be the enjoyer. And we understand before you can actually control, before you can actually enjoy, you have to have some facility to control. Therefore, there is this attitude towards the Supreme Lord that manifests in the spiritual world where I want to be the enjoyer or the center of enjoyment. And therefore, when that becomes full-blown, then that living entity is given a facility to do that, and that is this material world. It is actually criminal because just like it's mentioned here, when the state sees that people are acting against the law, there must be a corrective facility for one, both for punishment and for rejuvenation of the right attitude and right activity. So the prison house is created. The state doesn't have any benefit creating the prison house, but it's necessary for the deviant living criminals. So same way, and those in the material world have decided to come into this world in order to enjoy separate from the Lord. And therefore this world is created. Therefore it says here, he's not to blame for the sufferings that come in this material world. Because if there's no suffering in this material world, then people will not find any impetus to get out of this material world. So, although the living entity is given some freedom to express his desire to enjoy separately, he has to undergo a type of reaction which causes him suffering, causes her suffering. And that is the mercy of the Lord, also the suffering element. Just like you can't blame fire for burning your hand when you stick it in there. You say, oh, fire looks so nice. Children, they have that. They see the glowing colors jumping this way and that way, and they think, oh, so let me touch it. But immediately there is burning and then there's some suffering. So therefore, this material world has built-in suffering given by the Lord as a way to wake us up that this is not the place for your existence. This is not the place of your happiness. This is not the place of your prosperity. You've come here because of an inordinate desire to be separate from the Lord, and therefore These things are imposed upon us as ways to show mercy to the conditioned souls. Of course, the Lord shows mercy in other ways, which are more pleasing, such as he gives us a chance to worship him by coming in the form of his deity, so we can worship him in his Archavigraham, see him actually, and offer service to him in so many different ways of expression based on the rules of the means of worship. So, and he's also come in the form of his holy name. We like to sing. We can sing the glories of the Lord by singing his holy name. This is very pleasing and uplifting. It gives pleasure, and it gives gives freedom from material suffering. So these plus he comes in the form of prasadam, which is himself as a means to give tasty foodstuffs, which we must eat in order to maintain this body in this world. So he comes in the form of this mercy of offered food to him. He blesses it. And when we take it in the spirit of renunciation or in the spirit of worship, then we actually gain spiritual knowledge and detachment from material world. And we also feel some pleasure. So this is the Lord. But for those who cannot accept his direct mercy or sweet mercy, there's suffering. There's suffering. And that's for those who can. Just like in the state makes so many laws. Those who obey them get the benefits of being a good citizen. Those who break it must undergo some suffering. And if their breaking becomes severe, then he must be taken away from the general population so they don't disturb others by their criminal activities and put into a place where they can not perform their suffering, their activities anymore. So all this is the mercy of the state, or you might say, concomitant in parallel, the mercy of the Lord when he creates this material energy. There are three modes of material energy: goodness, passion, and ignorance. These three modes make up all of the activities of the material energy. Those who are in the mode of ignorance, they suffer the most, and they cause suffering to others. Those in the mode of passion generally cause suffering to others, and some suffering for themselves. And those in the mode of goodness, they cause a little suffering to themselves, but generally they don't cause others suffering at all. But this is all within the realm of the three modes of material nature, which makes up the whole prison house of material existence. Just like in the prison house, you have three types of inmates or prisoners. You have the very deviant prisoner inside of the jail who cannot follow the principles that are given by the jail for proper behavior and conduct. And therefore, they're put into a situation called solitary confinement, where everything is taken away from them and they're put into a little small area. They get to meet nobody, and their food is handed them through the bars by guards at select times. And they have to stay there. To put someone into a solitary confinement is one of the most, just like when we had this pandemic of COVID, they were locking people down, not allowing them to go out, not allowing them to do things that they normally do. And people were suffering because of that. More or less restricted movements. Just like when you restrict the child becomes very angry or starts crying and suffers. So therefore, in the material world, there is a prison house and people are restricted for being deviant in the prison house. Those who are mainstream prisoners, they are, you might say, analogy with the mode of passion. They do their work in the prison, they get some benefits. In other words, they get to interact with other prisoners at different times throughout the day, and they also are given certain facilities to live. And then you have the privileged prisoners who have shown over a period of time that they behave very nicely, get along with their other inmates and the guards, and they're given special privileges. They may even be allowed to walk around in the prison. They have some control of other prisoners. They also have facilities that they can use that other prisoners can't use. So this material world is a prison house. If anybody tells you it's not, then you just explained all of the built-in sufferings that come by living in the material world. Frustration of desires, reverses in all of our plans to become happy here, birth, death, disease, old age, infirmity, all of these things are also the sufferings that are built into this material world. So it is a prison house. And you can't stay here anyway. After some time, you have to get out. And if you haven't done your duty to the Lord, then you have to come back into another prison uniform. We call these material bodies different types of prison uniforms we have. Just like when you go to jail, they give you a uniform. And it has different indications of what type of prisoner you are and what particular jail you're connected with. And so these uniforms are, we got a uniform as a man, a uniform as a woman, a uniform as a particular culture or nationality. So all of these are like, the decorations of the body in the form of the prison uniforms that we have in this material world. And these uniforms are given to us by the material energy because of our desire to enjoy separately from the Lord. So, therefore, anyone who says that this world is a nice place, they are really in illusion. They are actually madmen. They're completely mad. Anyone who cannot see how suffering is being imposed every day upon the living entities, every day, every minute, practically in some cases. Now, this is what it is, and therefore the desire is to get out. So the Krishna is very kind, although he gives us the means by which he teaches us how to get out. He comes personally to help us in the form of incarnations. He manifests himself, as it's mentioned here. And if you go down the purport, I think it's mentioned here that he comes by the scriptures, he comes by his representatives, the spiritual teachers, and he comes in his personal incarnations. So not only does he make arrangements for us to get out, but he comes personally in these different manifestations. The authoritative scriptures, which are very insightful. They inspire the intelligence. They give us insight of reality. They also give us insight of what is not reality so we can avoid it. The representatives, the gurus, the sadhus, the great saints who've come into the material world to help us get out. And of course, his personal incarnations, which are unlimited. But Krishna is very kind, very merciful. He doesn't leave you in this material world to suffer. Sometimes people say, well, in certain traditions, And at the end of life, you die and you go to hell and you stay there forever. This is some imagination. God, when your child does something wrong, do you punish them forever? No, you give them a chance to change through the punishment. And if they change, then you bring them back to a nice, natural situation. So Krishna is like that. He's always trying to help us out. But if we refuse his help, what can he do? Then he only allows us to suffer. Hopefully, we'll learn from that other means of mercy. But even if we don't learn from that, then we have to continue to suffer. Maya Ravase, Kacho Bese, life after life after life, coming back in different forms. Kardanum Guna Sangosyo, Sarasad Joni Shanmasu. One famous playwright, Shakespeare, he said, the whole world is simply a stage, a drama. We're playing a part. The part is not us, it's just we play a part in the drama. And the part we play is different than who we are and in our real identity and in our real activity. So don't get enamored by the attractions of this material world, because there's simply ways to entice you to become more and more caught up in this cycle of suffering of birth and death. Therefore, the devotee, he wants to get out, she wants to get out, but she knows how to get out simply by engaging in devotional service to the Lord. And the essence of devotional service is to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Every day with regulation, with a numerical vow, choosing 16 rounds or more every day, and reading and hearing from scriptures, and associating with others who are in a similar situation. We're also trying to get out. And at the same time, as we gain in our spiritual life, we see opportunities to help others also get out. It's just natural. You see people in this world, many people are concerned about others, so they make many arrangements to help others, opening up hospitals, opening up these different types of food facilities to feed people who don't have food, giving free medical care in many places. It's natural to want to help others who are suffering. But the real suffering is not these material forms of implications upon us. The real suffering is that we are forgetting who we are and what is our purpose and how to become happy. So by reminding others of their relationship with the Supreme Lord, we're doing the highest form of welfare work for people in general. So a devotee is happy because the devotee doesn't try to enjoy this material world. They're simply trying to live in this material world so they can engage in devotional service. And when the time is right, then Krishna will take that soul back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj, for highlighting the importance of how to and why to get out of this prison house. Uh,
But some of us don't believe it's a prison house.
I think Lord is so merciful. He sends some nice challenges in everybody's life to wake them up. But yes, it really looks, Maharaj, sometimes really painful when we go on Harinama book distribution and see people are really so much, as you rightly said, they still feel they are enjoying. Looks like hurt seriously sometimes cry that Krishna give them some mercy, some understanding that they really take this path of Krishna conscious. life. So
Yeah. Napanyapi napasyati. They can see, but they can't see.
so yes.
Napanyapi napasyati.
So dear devotees, if I also humbly request if you can switch on your video. Nice way to interact with Maharaj. Take this darshan if you really want to have a spiritual understanding rather than you want to stay in your material prison house, then yes. Okay. And also request everybody, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please raise your hand or you can type in chat window. I will read on your behalf. Yes, Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Vrindavanath. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. First, my deep gratitude for trying to constantly pull us out of the prison house, even though we are not willing to get out of the prison house. Your endless patience with us is unbelievable, Mercy. So, I was thinking of the vast majority of the prisoners in this material world suffering from the entanglements in the material energy, and how only the mercy of the pure devotee can pull us out of this horrible material existence. But the pure devotees are not visible. They are very much protected and hidden from all these mad prisoners. So, how they will get the mercy and how they can be pulled out of the darkness of ignorance is my question.
Who's who's that you're referring to?
The vast majority of people in this material world, the prisoners, they never get to meet a pure devotee. They never get to see a pure devotee. They don't even know what is the mercy of pure devotee. So, how will they ever get relief and get a chance to get out of this material world?
Well, it's mentioned if someone does some agyata sukriti, then that qualifies them to come in contact with this movement in some form or another. So Gyata Sukriti is there. Just like we went to this sadhu sangha. So there was more, 4,000 devotees there in this huge palace-like hotel. But how many workers were there? And there were many workers. There were hundreds of workers also. So some of them actually got to meet the devotees. Some of them actually got books. And then all they did was come to their work. So somehow or other, they were blessed by having a job or an occupation where they could come in contact with devotees and do some service, which they did. Although they were getting paid for it, still they were serving the devotees by providing the facilities needed that week. So this is Magyata Sukriti. If a devotee is walking and a devotee comes to a door and someone opens the door and holds the door for the devotee and says, please go, that's a Gyata Sukriti. So we as devotees are trying to reach people as much as we can through various types of programs. So, but the point is, people are coming in contact with this movement, but they can't recognize the benefit. But if they get some agyata sukriti, some appreciation, some unknowing devotional service, it will set the stage for their future development. So that's, Srila Prabhupada said he wanted everyone, referring to the United States at the time, said, I want every family in America to have a full set of Srimad Bhagavatams in their home. So those who are out there distributing books, they meditate on Prabhupada's instructions. trying to reach people in different ways. So we're going everywhere with books. We're going everywhere with the holy name. Some are appreciating, others are thinking it's it's just a botheration or it's some waste of time. It depends on their level of development. Some people are pious, some people are impious, some people are very sinful. If you're trying to see something and you're blind, you can't see anything. If you're trying to see something and you're partially blind, you can see something. If you're trying to see something and you have eyesight, but your eyesight's impaired, you can see something. But if you want to see something and you need glasses to enhance the vision, then you can see clearly. So people are on different levels of consciousness. So it's our service, both Krishna and to the conditioned souls, to preach this message in one way or another.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you very much for this wonderful answer. We will keep this in mind as we keep going.
Did you make contact with Jai Krishna?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Jai Krishna Prabhu and his good wife have invited me to come and do programs at New Vrindavan.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we can move on.
Thank you, Shridevi Mataji. Divya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Maharaj, for your darshan. Guru Maharaj, my question is really similar. I think you already mentioned to Sri Devi Mataji, but my heart is just melting by since few days. Seeing there's a devotee, there are few not devotees, there's few people who come to the temple, and we've been feeding them prasad for many, I would say, few years now. They come to the temple, they eat prasad, and they go. They don't say Hare Krishna, they don't interact, they don't want to do service. I think so. There's some senior devotee who has already spoken with them. But because, as you mentioned, we are already on the mission of Srila Prabhupada and we wanted to see them improving and doing something, at least saying Hare Krishna or do some japa or something. What is the right way? Because, as you mentioned, we should preach this message. So we feel really bad. They come to Saturday, Sunday, they eat prasad and they go and they pack so much, but they're not changing. So, how do you think we should approach some another senior devotees and just go and guide them something or talk to them? Because you feel really sad seeing this material world that even at least they're coming and they are taking that initiative of eating prasad and so
Yeah,
what would you
well,
guide?
Prabhupada set up the Sunday feast program for the guests to invite people to come, have nice, what we say, tasty foodstuffs. And one of the jobs, not jobs, but one of the instructions was that when they come, devotees should be available to sit down next to them and talk to them during the prasadam time. Some temples do that. The devotees are there and then they look for opportunities just to sit down and speak to them and maybe just be friendly or even speak a little something philosophical. So yeah, that was the sun. That is the way to conduct the Sunday feast, not just to serve out prasadam and leave them alone, and we do something else. They're there. We have to give them a chance to interact with devotees.
But if they don't want to do anything, Guru Maharaj, I think so. That's why I mentioned.
Uh, not very many people are like that. If you're very friendly, come up and start speaking, ask them their name, thanking them for coming, and then be friendly with them. You can start like that. There's very few who are just running in, taking prashad and running out. Give them a chance by, talk to them. Ask them where they're from. Ask them what they do. Ask them, how is it you're coming here? Just be friendly. You don't have to even get into the philosophy. People come to spiritual movements because they want to meet other people and share something with them. Maybe it's something on a mundane level, but at least you can start off as a way to open up a relationship. If you try to come on, if you just say, well, they're not coming to the RT, they're just eating prasadam, let them come. Take prasadam, that's very good. But then take some time and talk to them. But devotees don't do that. We think we're too busy doing other things.
Sure, Guru Maharaj, I will try myself. I will try myself.
Just be friendly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hari Hari.
Thank you,
And,
Mataji. Amritanam Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj, my question is about giving chance. When we say we give chance, we know that we have been passing millions of lifetimes, and it is the Lord who gives us chance again and again. And He's giving us opportunity to come back to Him. That is why, we still have hope. So when we talk about ourselves, not even on the karmis level, even at the devotee level, at the mistakes of devotees, we are reluctant to give them chance. Why is that so? Why are we reluctant to give chance?
I don't know if I agree with you. I don't see that. You have to, maybe some people are like that, but that's not the general attitude.
In the devotee society, Guru Maharaj, we have seen many of the elevated devotees or senior devotees say they fall down. So why are we reluctant to give them chance again? So, but we keep criticizing them.
That's not what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said when one devotee, he fell down, devotees were talking about him and his fall down. Prabhupada said, now you made it difficult for him to come back because they were speaking about it in a more public way. That's not a Vaishnava. Prabhupada always saw the good in everyone, even if they were not up to the standard. He would look for that spark of devotion that was there in someone and try to increase it, fan it, make it blaze brighter. That was Prabhupada. And he taught us to do the same thing. So there are devotees who do that, who go out of their way to help others, who actually sacrifice their own, you might say, their own conveniences in order to reach Krishna consciousness or to reach other conditioned souls. I don't know who you're associating with. So, if you're talking about people who are not devotees, who come to our temple regularly, then that's another thing. But those who are initiated devotees, they're generally always concerned about helping, preaching, serving. New people may feel a little less connected to the whole process. And so they are just mostly only concerned with their own spiritual development. And that's fine. But let them come. They also need encouragement to take further steps in their spiritual practice. So be an example for what you want others to be.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah.
Just trying to understand.
Yeah.
For compassion. I'm just trying to understand compassion.
Compassion means, yeah, you have to make some effort. You have to get out of your, as they say, comfort zone. But so there's some people who are naturally inclined in that way, and there's others who, under the right circumstances, will show compassion. And there's others who are so oblivious to others' needs and insensitive to others that they're only absorbed in their own life, their own activities. So work with those who are compassionate and become like them.
Yes, Gurudev. While doing services, Guru Maharaj, I have faced certain things because of which even elevated devotees they are targeted. So I feel, why are they not giving them chances to recover back? So this was the only thought. I mean, I'm still wondering to have a satisfied answer, but those who have done, for some or the other reason, some mistake must have been happening, but due to that they were criticized. Okay, they were criticized, but giving them chances again is our duty as Vaishnavas. So I was just wondering over this thought, and
Yeah,
they were trolled.
They have to take it. They have to take it. If they don't take it, that's another thing. But we have to let them know that the door is always open.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes
Thank you, Mate.
Thank you very much.
sometimes people who fall down are so embarrassed by their own fall that they can't actually face it, and so they want to hide away just so they can somehow or other not face their actual situation. But it takes a lot of humility to admit I'm fallen and let me do whatever I can to somehow or other rectify myself. That's humility. Without that humility, then if we remain fallen by becoming prideful or distance ourselves from the association of devotees, then yeah. I was talking to a very senior devotee the other day. It was just 2 days ago, and I asked him, what seminar are you going to give on? He's brilliant in the philosophy. He travels around and preaches. He's a grihasta, family man. And I asked him, what are you going to do? He said, I'm going to speak about how people fall down in devotional service. So I said, well, what is that principle that leads people in that direction? He said, crookedness. Crookedness.
What is crookedness, Guru Maharaj?
Presenting yourself, you might say it's more like duplicity.
Duplicity.
Yeah. You have another motivation other than service to the Lord and his devotees. And you hide behind devotional activities, but your motivation is personal sense gratification, position, power, gain, something, crookedness. Mhm.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Mhm.
Since Guru Maharaj, we have come to this material world, aren't we? I mean, isn't it the tendency to be crooked?
Yeah, but there's a tendency to also to speak lies, but does that mean you should? Do you go by your negative tendencies as acceptable because it's a tendency? Tendency means a habit or a certain, what we say, what is it called? There's a philosophical term, a certain karmic attitude that has developed over a period of time. That's all. Due to certain associations and certain activities. We don't accept these things as being justifiable or allowable. We try to change.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, just like a person will say, well, you know, you got to accept me the way I am. Even though I get angry easy, that's just the way I am. No, we don't. We say, well, that's your problem. Well, it doesn't mean you have to dump your problem on us. So it's not good for the person and not good for others either. So our bad qualities or negative qualities are those qualities that are not conducive to spiritual life. We can't say, well, it's just a tendency. That's called conditioned nature. Do we accept tendencies as being acceptable because they're tendencies?
Guru Maharaj, frankly saying, I have seen people spending their life on this statement.
Yeah,
That
yeah, but then is it leading them towards Krishna or away from Krishna?
yes, definitely away from Krishna.
If it's leading them away from Krishna, then an intelligent person will say, well, I have to give up this tendency. How do you give it up? By replacing it with something spiritual, something positive. Tendencies, or you might say certain characteristics, are innate, but there is a positive counterpart to every negative quality. You have to go for that positive and give up the negative side. The negative side is just a shadow. The negative side has no reality. The positive is actually the nature of the soul, the nature of a person who is working in the mode of goodness. So they're accepting the shadow as the reality and saying that's me.
So Guru Maharaj, just a small follow-up is, should we try to help this kind of people who use this kind of statements as a shield for themselves, or should we leave them on their
Yeah,
own mind?
you have to determine if you can help, good. If you're gonna try to help and become affected by that, then you may want to just pray for them from a distance.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay, Guru Maharaj.
we have John, right?
Yes, John Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Glories Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for this very merciful class. And I was just wondering, from this perspective, from what we're talking about today, we understand that the world, the material manifestation is a prison house, but also there may be times where we see the miracle of creation and the beauty of the creation. And I feel that sometimes we're encouraged to see Krishna, see the miracle of life everywhere. So I was just wondering, like, they seem contradictory, and I was wondering, is there a balance? Is one more right than the other?
It just reminded me of an incident when Srila Prabhupada was walking on Venice Beach in California. And it was around the time of evening when the sun was going down, and the patterns in the sky were so colorful. So the devotees pointed out, "Look, Prabhupada, how beautiful it is." Prabhupada said, "Yes, but you should see the artist." Don't get overly enamored by the creation. Get more involved with the creator, the artist behind it. But we can appreciate the artist through his artwork also. Or the beauty of creation is also a quality of Krishna's mercy upon the conditioned souls. That he gives us something here in this material world that appears to be pleasant. But if we get too much enamored with that and accept that as, the perfection of life, the beauty of creation, then we miss out on the creator. We have to connect it. If you don't connect the creation with the creator, then you're not seeing completely. You're just thinking, oh, this is very nice. Just like when people see a beautiful painting on the wall, they ask, well, who actually is the artist? They want to know who's behind it. Sometimes they want to know even more about the artist. So that's a devotee. He sees the creator within the creation.
Mm. Yeah.
And then,
Thank you, Maharaj.
Then both are pleasant, both creator and then when the not so pleasant things of creation appear, that's also and part of the working of the creator. So that way you see Krishna in both pleasant and unpleasant situations. That way you're always seeing Krishna. That's Krishna consciousness.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, John Prabhu. Sridevi Mataji, you have raised your hand.
Yeah, thank you, Vrindavannath. I was thinking, Guru Maharaj, about Divya's question as well as Amritanam's question. And I was thinking about how certain behaviors and patterns get entrenched in, people as well as devotees. I have seen at the New Orleans temple all kinds of street people coming up just for that free plate of prasadam, hundreds and hundreds. And devotees give out the prasadam. There's a huge crowd. But nobody really preaches to them. Nobody really talks to them. As you said, nobody is really friendly with them. And they come, they take prasadam, they go away. They come, take prasadam, go away. And this has been going on for years. And nothing changes. They come, we cook, they take prasadam, they go away. So
if they take prasadam long enough, something will happen.
Okay.
What can we do? We want to push him along faster, but prasadam is also, how many people are actually coming to take prasadam? So these people, in one sense, somehow have been blessed with some mercy, that they have the opportunity to get Krishna's mercy in the form of nice food stuff.
Right. And we have got a very good name in the community there oh, the Hare Krishnas give out free food to people. So there's a lot of goodwill built just by that Sunday love feast.
The
So,
Alachua Temple had a still has it. They had a food program there for 20, 30 years, maybe even more. And some kids who were going to the colleges, was mostly for students. And the students would come and take prasadam and then go back to their studies. Many of those students, when they grew up, got jobs, and they remembered when they were students how the Hare Krishnas, and they came later on to find out more.
Krishna lunch.
Yeah, Krishna lunch.
Yes.
That was the place.
Mm.
And that was so famous.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Prabhupada. Said we should distribute prasadam within 10 miles of every temple.
Profusely. Yes. Yes, Guru Maharaj. And coming to Amrita Nam's question about fall downs or misdemeanors and then the shock waves that it sends through the community, I somehow feel the need to express to temple presidents, etc., that there should be a cell of devotees who are expertly handling such situations so that they can communicate to the community what is going on, what action is being taken, how we can help, etc. Because otherwise, management is very tight-lipped about it. Rumors start swirling around, and it becomes like Chinese whisper, it becomes bigger and bigger, and no one knows where the truth really lies. And as you said, the person becomes so ashamed that they just disappear from the scene and so on.
All right, so write a book about management. Go ahead. Yeah, there you go. I think you're so very concerned about how things are managed in our society. It seems like that is your main concern. So write a book on management and pointing out all of these different things.
Okay.
Start with articles and then turn it into a publication.
Mm.
You can do it. I'm serious. I'm not just kind of pushing you off. I'm saying, yeah. I mean that's needed. How better to manage our situations where we can maximize um, the opportunities to reach people in a more effective way.
Right.
Some of that has already been done, but if we had one particular book, call it Management According to Prabhupada's Vision.
Rebo. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. That's a wonderful directive, and I will pray to fulfill it. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you, Shridevi Mataji. So, Maharaj, there is no further questions. Devotee, if you have any last questions, comments, how to get out of this present house, that's the best way to ask your questions today.
Okay.
Looks like no. So, Maharaj, okay.
Okay.
Abhishek Prabhu, yeah, please go ahead.
Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Actually, Maharaj, I don't have any question, but I just want your blessings. And also, I have one question that we are going to Mayapur Yatra in some days. So, actually, want to know what should be our mood to enter into a dham and what should we avoid.
You understand that the Dham is not part of the material world, it's spiritual. And even if you see material activities happening in the Dham, you shouldn't be so much concerned with that. You should worship the Dham by serving the devotees in the Dham. But the most important thing you should do is hear from senior Vaishnavas. Going to holy places means to hear from those who are there to speak the glories of the Lord, to speak about the process of pure devotional service. Yeah. That's mentioned in the Shastras. to go to the holy place, not simply to take bath or to take the dust out of the holy place and put it on your head. That's there. But to hear from great souls, that is the main business of those who take pilgrimage to holy places, to meet great souls and to hear from them.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Please bless me so that I can follow all this.
Yeah, just do it. That's in America, they have a saying, just do it. The blessings are there by the instruction. Instructions are the blessings. Now it's up to you to carry it out.
Give the similar blessings, Maharaj, to everyone. Go out of this material world. This prison house, at least.
Yeah. We want to pull, we don't want to leave without pulling some souls out. That's our job. To see if we can take some other souls with us. That is Lord Chaitanya's teachings. Namruchi, Vaishnav Seva, Jiva Doya.
Thank you, Maharaj. So before we end, Srimati Mataji wanted to announce about tomorrow class. Srimati Mataji, over to you.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you all, close to Srila Prabhupada. I just want to announce tomorrow's class. Tomorrow's class is with Harrisburg devotees. It will be on the same time, and the verses are Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 5th chapter, 67 to 69. 5, 67 to 69, Adi Leela. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I'll send that Zoom link in the WhatsApp group. Please join the same time. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. So with this, Maharaj, since there are no further questions or any hand raised, with your permission, we'll close the session class today. Is that okay? श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शीला प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hope to see you
Thank
all.
you so much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna,
very
Guru
much.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Guru
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Danvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.